We're going to talk about top 3 most common mistakes that people make when they're doing healthy diet. So you might be making this mistake when you're doing healthy diet, and I learned this lesson in a hard way when I started what's called anti-inflammatory diet back in 2015. Hello there. I see some eyeballs. That's good to see. If you can see me, would you say hello? Say where you're from. That'll be really nice. So I know I'm not talking to myself. It's wonderful to have you here. Thanks for joining me. So type in where you're from and what your name is. That'll be awesome. So today's topic is the top 3 mistakes that almost everyone makes when it comes to in their healthy eating. So back in 2015, when I was in desperation to overcome my health challenges, which included severe skin flare-ups that I used steroids for 3 decades, I looked into what I could do. So I digged in deep and I did a lot of research, and I found a big jackpot that there's a correlation between inflammation and food and chronic inflammatory conditions, such as skin problems and your joint and muscle pains, or chronic, if you're tired all the time, that's one of the signs of something's not working right. So that leads me to finding this book called The Autoimmune Solution. This book was really helpful, and as you can see, I read through it quite a few times to make sure I really understood it. And I read many books after that. Just show you a few. So one of the biggest mistakes when it comes to healthy eating that I see is you're not starting. A lot of people do a lot of research and not actually starting. So that's one of the mistakes I see. When I actually started in 2015, after researching for a few years of anti-inflammatory diet, it worked. It worked wonderfully that I was able to get off steroids that I was on for 3 decades, and I lost 14 pounds in 12 months and never saw it again. And I got clear, beautiful skin without steroids. And my joint and muscle pain reduced drastically. And my mood improved because my body was not spending so much energy on trying to fight the foods my immune system think it's bad. So so that's the one thing. So if you're just joined, say hello and type in where you're from, so I know that you're real people and I'm not talking to a green dot. That'll be really helpful. So type in where you're from and say hello. If you've joined last time, it's the Korean Health Secret live number 2. So last week I had one and that was a blast and many people joined. That was awesome. So today we are having live number 2. So if you have any questions or comments along the way, just type in so I can answer them as I go. So number 2 reason that I see, okay, I haven't, okay, let me go back actually, not starting. So a lot of people look at what might be perfect diet for them. Jenny. Hey, you're from Singapore. That's awesome. Thanks for joining, Jenny. Good to have you here. That's wonderful. I love Singapore. I've been there a long time ago and I really love the food. Very interesting mixture of different group of people and different cuisines. So that was really awesome. So say hello if you just joined and let me know where you're from. It's really fun for me and it's real for me when I interact with you that it really energizes me. So I'm not talking to you, so we can actually have conversation. That way it's a lot more fun. So if you have questions, if you have questions or comments as I go through this, we're gonna do this about 30 minutes. So just type in or just say hello, just like Jenny did. It's awesome. And Jenny is from Singapore. It's awesome. Cool. So the reason that most people don't start, you wanna pick what the best diet is for you. So best diet is for you is number one, it has to be doable for you. But number two is a lot of the, if you have just joined, I showed these books a little bit earlier. So the core of it is that the diet and inflammation goes hand in hand. So let me show you a little drawing here. We're going into science, a little more science now. So all this is based on epigenetics. Epi means above. So basically, it means that you're above your genes. So currently, most people believe that genes determine your health, but that's an old science. That's a myth. Genes actually don't determine your health. Only 1% of whole population that the genes have strong influence on them, but genes are only potentials. So according to epigenetics, you can actually turn on good genes and turn off bad genes by introducing and setting up the environments in your body that suits you right. So the epigenetics in a nutshell is like this. So that's your genes, the smallest circle, and the middle circle is you, and the largest one here is environment. In the environment, there are many, many factors. One of it is food, which is the easiest way for you to turn on healthy genes to express health and turn off genes that might express disease. So if you have chronic conditions or chronic fatigue, or if you're tired all the time, if you get sprained a lot easily, or if you have skin flare-ups, all that things are related to your genetic potential. So when you do something good for your body, such as eating kimchi or eating healthy food or anti-inflammatory diet, that will actually help you, because inflammation is coming from, it's rooted from your body when you eat. So anti-inflammatory diet in a nutshell, when you eat something that has high inflammatory components in it, then when you eat it, it talks to your genes and your body thinks that it's something that's dangerous for your body. Therefore, your immune system shoots out all this chemical that is highly inflammatory because it wants to protect you. Then when your body shoots that all out and it settles at where you're genetically weak. For my mother, it was back pain. She had severe back pains. So when I introduced anti-inflammatory diet, that was able to lower back pain pretty quickly, actually. And when I had severe skin problem after using steroids for 3 decades, I used the anti-inflammatory diet, and after just by removing one of the most inflammatory foods, which is gluten and cow dairy, by removing it for just 2-3 weeks, I was able to get off steroids for the first time in my life. So that's the nutshell. So if you just joined, type in where you're from, and if this is helpful to you. Also, if you have questions, type in as you go so I can answer them for you towards the end. So say hello like Jenny and Jenny did. That's awesome. I love seeing you guys saying hello. So that's a lot more fun for me. So say hello and just share your little bit of your story, and that'll be really awesome. So we talked about number one reason why most people, the biggest mistakes that people make in their healthy diet, not starting. So eating something, whether it's anti-inflammatory diet or plant-based diet, eating something that's high quality will talk to your body, because a lot of food, conventional food, has a lot of chemicals in it, which is your body doesn't know just what to do with it. And a lot of them have GMO, genetically modified organism in it. That's also very inflammatory. So if you remove those out, and a lot of healthful diet actually suggests that. So pick one of those, especially anti-inflammatory diet. It will be huge help for you. If you have joint and muscle pains or skin flare-ups, if you're tired a lot, that will help you a lot. So start with that. So start with just one thing, just even by making kimchi. So that's the biggest biggest one that I see that people make mistake when it comes to healthy diet. They research and research and research and ask me a lot of questions and they never do it. Therefore, there is no result. So start with just even making kimchi. That's so simple. I have more than 100 helpful recipes on hungrygopher.com. So you can visit my website here. And the best way to get reminded of this event, and I have some awesome event coming. So sign up to my newsletter at hungrygopher.com. It's also, if you're watching on YouTube or social media channels, you'll see that in the description box. I put the link there. You can also find how to subscribe on my newsletter at hungrygopher.com here. Okay, I'm getting better at sweeping. It's a little jarring. Okay, so if you have just joined, say hello and just type in your name and tell me where you're from. That's always so good to know where people are from because Hungry Gopher community is quite big. Jenny's question: do you also do recommendations for type of sauces that are anti-inflammatory? That's a really good question. So two parts of inflammation. So one part is you want to add food that's anti-inflammatory, so that lowers inflammation in the body. That's a really good question, Jenny. The other part is removing food that's highly inflammatory. So number one thing to remember is natural food is the best, right? So when you buy something at grocery store, be curious about what goes into your body. Just start reading the label. I was at the airport the other day, going to Ohio to see my parents-in-laws for 4th of July. And even water had some, if you look at it, you'll be very surprised. If you start reading the labels, that the water even had some preservatives. It was really amazing to see that. So be curious. When you buy something, be curious what goes into your body because everything that you eat talks to your genes. It has the potential of turning your good genes on or turn down the genes that might express disease. So that's the powerful. So that's where epigenetics comes from. So sauce, so I'm going back to Jenny's question. So sauce, you mentioned, that's very important because sauce has a lot of things hidden in it. So if you're eating out a lot, seek for something they're more conscious about, organic, or at least has, okay, let me make an example, more tangible example. When I order to go from Yelp, and I look at the Chinese, or I love Thai cuisine too, that I look at the soy sauce package. If the soy sauce has package, to-go soy sauce has no soy in it, that's kind of red sign because you'll be surprised. Those little soy sauce package will have ingredients listed there, but there's no soy in it because it's fake soy sauce. But it's a chemical concoction of this that makes you feel like you're eating soy sauce, but it's really not tasty. And your body, your genes know immediately that's why you eat these foods and you just become tired because your immune system, 80% of your immune system is located in your gut. When you eat those food, your immune system is working so hard for you. That's why you feel tired. Think about when you had a cold, how tired you are. You just want to lay down and just sleep, right? If you eat food, that's not even food. That's just full of chemicals and GMOs. That's how your body would feel. So that's number one thing to look at. So let's start from that. And I'll go a lot more in depth. I'm preparing for Mastermind free class for this information. So if you haven't signed up to my newsletter, the best way that I can recommend you is that if you want to get reminded, sign up to my newsletter here at Hungry Gopher. It's always a little jarring here. hungrygopher.com. Okay, I'm getting better there. Okay, so I see more people participated here. So Jenny, was that helpful to you? Did it answer some of your questions? So ask questions like Jenny did. If you don't even have questions, say hello. Tell me where you're from. It's really exciting to see that we're global community, and the health and wellness, actually one of the things, fun part. Your genes also likes the the healthy community. So if you think about, so there are a lot of things that can turn on good genes. You're that powerful. So one of the things is think about how you feel good when you hang out with some people, right? That health conscious people who have, wow, like you actually feel good, you feel energized when you talk to that person. That's your genetic expression of that person actually, your biologically, your biology is responding. Awesome, Jenny. Thumbs up. Thank you for that. That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for your kindness. Cool. So say hello if you just joined. And, so I'm gonna go to the second one, that the most common 3 mistakes that I see that people make when it comes to healthy eating. Second one is, it might be a real surprise for you, but I see this a lot because a lot of you try so hard to eat healthy, but you're not getting the result you want. And I was stuck here about 3 years ago. I started anti-inflammatory diet to lower my flare-ups in the body. Hey, Jamin, that's awesome. Hey, good to see you. And 3 hearts. Thank you for that. That's great. Where are you from? So one of the biggest mistakes I see, I know most of you try very hard to stay healthy. And it's not that you're not trying hard, and you guys are really, really smart. I'm always impressed when I get emails and questions from you because you're smart and you try so hard to eat healthy. But one of the reasons I see that, the biggest mistake I made, is that you are hyper-vigilant about healthy food. The reason, if you're hyper-vigilant about healthy eating, America, all right? Good, I'm in America too, so we're at the same place. So when you're hyper-vigilant about healthy eating, that can be actually bad for you. I'm not encouraging you to eat McDonald's or just eat, conventional, like just fast food. That's not what I'm encouraging. But I'm going back to epigenetics again here. So your genes, there's you and your genes and your environment. If you're hyper vigilant about food, what happens is that your immune system always looks out for, you can almost overlearn this. Then you probably heard of fight or flight mode. When you're in fight or flight mode, your immune system cannot work out very well, but it's all running in the background. And when you're in fight or flight mode, you're not thinking that you're in danger. If you're hypervigilant, the fight or flight mode gets turned on, and what it does in return is that it sends out all the resources in your body. Most of it goes to your legs or arms, not in your digestive system. That's why when you get really upset, when you fight with someone, you just like, your digestion doesn't go very well, right? We all experience that. So hypervigilance of healthy eating can do something similar. If you're always worried about, is it going to be healthy or not? If you're hypervigilant about, oh, is this food gonna hurt me? Then that can actually hurt you. I was stuck there for a while because in 2015, when I started my journey of anti-inflammatory diet to lower my joint and muscle pains because I got easily sprained when I was in yoga class, then my skin flare-ups was so bad that I just wanted to look normal. And when I wake up, I didn't want to worry about how I looked because it's just flaky and red, and I was in so much pain. I just wanted to feel normal when I wake up in the morning. So when I found out anti-inflammatory diet, it worked out really well. By lowering the inflammation, by taking out the foods, they raise the inflammation, and adding food that lowered the inflammation, it really worked. So I did that for about 3 years. But what happened to me after 3 years is that I was too worried about what I was eating. So I almost overlearned. And what happened was that I got so sick without diagnosis. If some of you had followed me for a long time, that's the period that I couldn't work on Hungry Gopher for a year and a half. I think it was 2018 when I got really sick. So after 3 years of anti-inflammatory diet, I got too hypervigilant, and my immune system, I thought my immune system, basically, I were taught it to be hyper vigilant. So any food that came in that wasn't good, it just alarm went off. So that caused many problems. But that's another, it's too much to cover here, too much science to cover here. So that said, I'm gonna go in depth about this in free mastermind class that I'm gonna give. It's coming up. So if you haven't signed up to my newsletter, the best way to get updated is sign up to hungryoffer.com here. And if you're on social media channels, you can sign up in the description box in the YouTube. You can sign up to my newsletter here and download top 3 gut healthy kimchi. Then I'll remind you and what's coming, so you'll get up to date. And so you're busy, then I'll be able to up to date and remind you for that. So that's good. Oh, that's why I was wondering why you disappeared. Okay. Oh, Jamin. Oh, you've been following me for a while. Thanks for following me. Thanks for being interested. Yeah, that's why I couldn't, after 3 years of anti-inflammatory diet, it was great. It was working. But at some point, my immune system was in hyper alarm system that I was tired all the time. I couldn't get up of my couch for about a year. I couldn't do much other than laying on the couch. And I went to see numerous doctors and I got lupus test and nothing came out. My blood work was perfect, but it was a mysterious illness. But that's the good news. I figured it out. I met my mentor, Mario Martinez, who teaches about psychoimmunology, how thoughts and emotions and your beliefs affect your immune system. So that's another level, and that's too much to cover here. That's why I'm talking to you every week and telling you all the mistakes and errors that I made so you don't make the same mistakes. So your anti-inflammatory diet journey will be smooth sailing for you. Yeah, so same, and that's why I was disappearing. Thank you. James said, wow, I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, I do too. Thank you so much. It's awesome to be back with you guys, and it's awesome to be serve you. I'm so honored that to serve you, that you're committed to your health. So that's wonderful. So the third reason that why your healthy diet might not be working for you, why you're not getting the result, is that mindlessness. Let me explain that. What that means is that, so in 2018, when I got really sick after doing anti-inflammatory diet, for 4 months, I did impossible diet almost. I removed all the things that I found in the books and from teachers that's inflammatory. I removed all those, even alcohol. I used to be I worked hard during the weekdays, and over the weekends, I drink quite a bit. But that was the first time that I even stopped drinking. I didn't know. I was so tired and felt like I was drunk already during the course of the time that I didn't even need to drink. So 4 months, I did impossible diet. But the crazy thing was that the needle didn't move at all. I didn't get better at all. It was mind-blowing. So it was working before when I cleaned my diet, and when my flare-up was up, my inflammation went down, so I felt better. But during the time, it didn't work. So during the 4 months, I finally became mindfulness, meaning that you actively notice the difference. I stepped back and looked, okay, what's the difference here? I am doing exactly what I did, and it's no longer working. Some of you who've tried healthy eating for a long time and followed a lot of good diets, but your problem might be at a different level. Different level means, let me bring this paper again, epigenetics, if you haven't seen it, that epi means above. Currently, a lot of us believe that, a lot of us are taught that genes determine your health, but genes don't. You do. Because you have the capability that you can turn on good genes and turn down genes that might express disease by changing your environment. So how do you change your environment? Well, easiest way is to eat anti-inflammatory diet here. Then it goes to your genes, and you'll talk to your good genes to turn it on. And by doing something that's helpful, you turn on healthy genes. And by doing something that's not helpful, you actually trigger the genes that are unhealthy. So your potential of being healthy is there, but you have to trigger them. So when you become mindful of, okay, if my diet that I was on, whether it's plant-based diet, anti-inflammatory diet, autoimmune diet, keto, if you're doing intermittent diet, intermittent fasting, whatever you tried, if it no longer works for you, it's very important that you step back, because your problem might be at a different level. It could be at a different level that you might have overtaught your immune system, that you're hypervigilant. So you might have to bring it down gradually. There are ways to do it, and it's too much to cover here. I'm going to go in depth when I give free master class. So sign up to my newsletter here. I'm going to have a fun event coming up. So sign up here at hungrygopher.com. The best way to is sign up to my newsletter, so I can remind you. So I know there are more people coming and go. So if you're hanging in, that's awesome. If you just joined, say hello. So I think that wraps up today's talk. If you have any questions, okay, Jamin has a question. I actually started to gain weight on my diet. I see how my mindset may have affected it. Exactly, Jamin. That's very mindful of you. That's very good. You noticed that. Ellen Langer she's from Harvard. She's been studying the mindfulness effect on biology for 4 decades. So I'll introduce more of that as we go on, because I don't want to pour a lot of science on you all at once. So that's very good. First step is to notice, okay, what you have done before, is it working now? If it's not working now, what is it? You have to step back and almost like a Sherlock Holmes mindset. What is that you're missing? Because it could be very, very simple and very subtle thing, and they'll make a huge difference. That's how I overcame my mysterious disease, illness that I had lupus-like symptoms, just laying on couch. That's all I could do pretty much. So hopefully this helped you. And if you haven't already, please share this with your friends who will benefit from this. Share this information with your friends who will benefit from this, and sign up to my newsletter, because I have a lot of fun events coming. So I'll keep you posted. So sign up to my newsletter at hungrygopher.com. Hi, the blessed. Thanks for joining. It's wonderful to talk to you, and thanks for chiming in. It's really good to see that you guys are there. So I know I'm actually looking at you, not seeing at the green dot. So I'll see you next time, next Thursday. See you. Bye.